Live from San Diego, this is the Fox 5 Morning News at 7.
All right, Chrissy, thank you. At time now is 7:13. There's now more help for women suffering from postpartum depression. Joining us now to talk about the Out of the Shadows Act, psychotherapist Abigail Bird. Abigail, good morning, and thank you for being here.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
This is big news. The House passed this new bill. What does this mean?
Well, this is really exciting news. So what the Out of the Shadows Act wants to do is actually have money, funding for screening and treatment. And so these are going to be federal grants that go out to the states. It's $5 million that's funded every year through 2020.
And what are they going to do with that money, Abigail? Over the years, and I know we've had you on the show before, we've talked about this, they're now doing the screening for most everybody, right, that goes in?
Right. So when I was in here in January and talked about the screens, that was big news, but the difference was there wasn't any money. It was really kind of vague about how that screening would roll out. That panel recommended that all adults, and especially pregnant women and postpartum women, are screened for depression. And so now, of course, nothing really happens if there's no money to fund it. And so now it can. Yeah,
you need the money. 90% of women with postpartum, they're successfully treated. How is this bill going to help that last 10%?
So what I should say is that it still has to pass the Senate and then get signed into law. But fingers crossed, what they did is they bundled it into a larger bill for medical spending, and so hopefully it will go through. So what this can do is help provide that screening and treatment. And why they call it Out of the Shadows is because, as we've talked about, people want to hide their depression, especially with a baby. They're scared to come forward, and so now we want to help fight that stigma and say, hey, this is really common. It affects a lot of people. At least 1 in 7 moms are affected with clinical depression or anxiety, many more with baby blues. And so let's just talk to people. Let's ask them, how are you really doing?
You know, you talk about the baby blues. I've had 3 kids. I don't know if I necessarily had the full blown postpartum depression, but I felt those blues come on, at least with one of my children, and it was nice to be able to talk to somebody about it and make help available.
Right, and so we want them to know that for almost every woman that comes forward and gets help, and men too, that they're going to get better, especially with treatment.
Okay, a great resource here too in San Diego. If there's a woman watching right now and maybe looking for a little bit of help or knows somebody that may need help, where can they go here in San Diego, Abigail?
Well, our local resource is the Postpartum Health Alliance, and that's a nonprofit that provides a warm line, and that's staffed by volunteers who can help connect women with resources.
Okay, before I let you go, let's just quickly talk about the signs so people know, this could be like more than just the baby blues. I might need some help.
Right. So I talk a lot in my practice about the difference between the baby blues and when is it clinical depression, when is it to reach out for help. As you mentioned, most women feel that hormone drop, especially day 4 up to 2 weeks postpartum. When it's getting to be past 2 weeks postpartum and you're still feeling crying, anxious for no reason, worrying. Of course, when you have a new baby, especially your first, you're going to be worrying. But if you feel like your worrying is extreme, if it's things that aren't reasonable, or if you just can't shut it off, if it's most of your waking thoughts, that's a sign that anxiety or depression could be getting in the way.
Yeah, and it's okay. There are people to help. Abigail, thank you for being here. Good
My
information.
pleasure. Thanks.